I'm checking my lettuce bed for the first time after a period of rain for slugs and cranefly larvae. But I am noticing for the first time, looks like the cranefly larva is hatching out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the big guys, and then a bunch of these little guys, which, you know, they look like cranefly. I don't know what the difference is between the small ones and the big ones. And I'm seeing, okay, let's see, there's 1, 2 craneflies in there, and 1 guy in here. And it's funny because I'm seeing him here, but I'm not seeing him at the other end. So I'm down at the other end, and I actually did see 1 big cranefly. But it is mostly just these little guys. And then these little gnat things that have been here for a while. I'm just letting them all out. Checking the chard bed now. And I'm not seeing any of the, you know, the big cranefly larvae. So nothing much in the chard bed either. Just a little few slug holes here and there. I forgot, I actually did find a cranefly larva in the lettuce bed. It had nipped off 2 of the leaves before I got it. And now I'm thinking, should I like babysit it and see what happens the next few days, if it hatches out or not? Anyway, I am moving on to this greenhouse here, and I'm gonna clear it out for basil. Pull out the remnant mizuna and get all this crud from the edges of the bed. It's interesting that the regrowth on this mizuna is quite nice. You know, a few cut tops, but this could probably do a second cut. You know, I've got to get this out of here now because of the basil, but otherwise, that's kind of interesting to know. I'm pulling out the weeds from the edge of the bed, and I just ran into my toad friend. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Hi, buddy. Are you the toad that helps me eat slugs and cranefly larvae? Okay, you guys, so now I'm down to the last little tiny bit. And guess who's down here? Another toad friend. Hello, buddy. Sorry I'm taking your habitat. Next, I need to get the ferns from the edge of this bed and also pull out the spinach. But I'd like to first harvest this orach, because I like to put in the salad mix this week. So I don't know how the order of operations is going to go with that. Looking at last year's planting calendar, I was supposed to have seeded my second patch of green onions a few days ago, so I need to get that done. I'm supposed to be planting out my 3rd patch of salanova lettuce, but they're too small, and I need to seed pretty soon my 4th patch of salanova lettuce. I also need to know, are the vegetable gobbling birds gone yet? So I'm resituating my salanova lettuce up here at the house under lights. The trays that I had before, you know, are super brittle and are just falling apart. And so I've got these more robust trays, and I just transferred them over, putting the biggest lettuce on one end so they don't shade out the other little tiny fellows. And then there's the duds here. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what the problem with the lettuce is. I would like to have had this orach grow a little bit bigger before I harvested this week, but I got to get this out of here so I can plant that basil. I left this 1 row of orach, just kind of clipped it back and hope that it doesn't, you know, outgrow and shade out the basil when I plant it in here. I've got orach growing in a row in each of the greenhouse beds here. This is a 2nd seeding. Okay, next, I'm gonna get this spinach out of here before it gets too hot. Okay, I got it. Spinach. And gave the lettuce a little bit more light. And hopefully it can grow for a couple more days. I was gonna plant basil in the greenhouses, but it's turned from partially cloudy to completely sunny. And so I am gonna work out here, getting row cover off the things that I can get off, getting hoops on the things that I need to get hoops on. I haven't seen any of the vegetable gobbling birds or even the scratchy birds. So all we have is a few robins that will scratch around. So some things are safe. Uncovered. So these 3 beds are in clover. This far bed was the first one planted in peas. They need a trellis. This next one has peas, and this next one is just clover, and I keep being tempted to plant something else in there. This next bed is leeks in the far back, and then the first planting of green onions. This bed was 2 rows of spinach, 3 rows of mizuna that did not come up. The seeding of spinach did really nicely. It's a real bummer that the 3 rows here of mizuna didn't come up. I've got to get that figured out because I'm really liking that mizuna. Okay, temporary cover. Now I'm going to move on to the 3 carrot beds and the bed of baby greens over there. And now that's going to be a weedy mess. There's my little deer friend. So hot. He's panting in the sun, but he just doesn't want to leave. It's not just the boy deer. It's the girl deer over there. Can you see her? Hi, guys. Oh, so funny. Right in my potato patch. Okay, so this is little potato buddy, and he is just starting to sprout. So he's alive. Okay, so here are my 3 super weedy carrot beds. That's really bad at the far end, but you can see here, like, where are the carrots? And then I've got my baby greens bed here, and I had a chance to hoe this before a couple weeks of cool rainy weather, so I just also ran a hoe through just a minute ago. Some in-row weeds, but not too bad, and you can see the mizuna got seeded fine with the Jang. So I don't know what's up with the other bed. This is spinach and baby chard at the far end. I'm using my wire hoe, and I'm just trying to find, like, where are the carrots. So here's a carrot, here's a carrot, here's a carrot, so I can kind of see these. And then, like, okay, this is the next row. Here's a carrot, here's a carrot, here's a carrot, here's a carrot. So I'm just trying to run. You can almost see a little mound where the Jang-seeder, you know, left a path. And so I'm just trying to run it through there. Last night, Tyler helped me clip some more lengths of hoop. So I've got plenty of hoops now. Alrighty, so I've got hoops and insect netting on the baby greens. And as much as I would like to just have the row cover off these carrots, you know, these guys are so tiny that if the robins got in here, they could just really do some damage. So got some lightweight agribon on these guys. F24 roller, 1/2 inch spacing, 3 rows, 40 feet. Oakley dokley, row cover on the spinach. And I pulled the herbs out from the greenhouse, dill, cilantro, parsley, that I had planned to plant beside the garlic like I have in past years with the parsley, but the garlic is kind of in a shady area this year. Planted in herbs. This is the dill. I've got 14 times 4. Cilantro, 16 times 4. Parsley, 26 times 4. I was going to feed my beds with clover nitrogen. Last year, the garlic was in the middle of the garden, so the parsley had 1/2 of a day on this side, and the ones planted on the other side had the other half of the day to get some sunlight. Whereas over there, they get the trees, the carrots are going to grow up, but I don't think they're going to cause much grief with the transplanted stuff because those are pretty solid. And moths and things, they don't prefer the herbs. They'll probably go for the peas first. More crane flies underneath. I'm checking down here in the chard. Saw some dead leaves, and I've got a crane fly larva. Whoa! So we've got these guys in the flying stage and the larva stage. Oakley dokley. This bed is now cleared. Ooh, gross green stuff. Do I have time to plant basil real quick? Planted. And I had to pull out a bok choy to give some of the basil more light. Okay, this bed. 65. And this bed got 61. The beds were kind of dry, especially this bed right here. So I watered everybody in, double watered these guys, and now I've got the drip going too. I've never had any problems planting basil, so hopefully everything goes well. Of my 4 squash plants, this one right here, little neck, didn't make it. Okay, so I transplanted the far squash into the center. So now I have 3 and a table. I'm gonna pot up these extra veggies just in case I need them. They're still in their soil blocks. I mostly wanted to do this in case I had to replace some plants out in the garden that got hit by slugs or crane fly larvae, my chives, which are barely coming up. Don't forget the pansies. Oakley dokley. I'm gonna get some of this lettuce harvested, clear out the fern foliage. Okay, so I've got 1 row of lettuce. I think that's all I need. Alrighty, this bed is all cleaned out. Yay. And I think I'm gonna pull all this bok choy out. It's starting to go to flower anyway. There's some pest damage. I just want to get this lettuce some light. There we go. Oakley dokley. I've got 9 total. All cleared out, folks. My poor leggy lettuce finally has a chance to get some light. I left some bok choy and radishes here. That lettuce I have up at the house is going to go into the garden late, and then maybe these can kind of be backup. So that's why I want to favor the lettuce right now. Heavy on the spinach this week, but spinach is good. 10 bags of baby greens. I think these mustard greens need pruning. Yes, definitely. 2 more bok choy from the basil greenhouse. Just trying to get 1 bok choy at each bed end. Satisfy the slugs. 1 crane fly larva in the lettuce. Although it doesn't seem like they're able to nip the whole plant off at this point. Maybe the plants are getting big enough. They don't just die with 1 snip. Now I'm just gonna try and see how long does it take me to zen out and hand weed a bed of carrots. So I don't know. I almost think that I need to leave this alone because I think the carrots are gonna shoot up taller than this kind of low profile weed. And I might end up just kind of disrupting the carrots. So I'm just gonna let these guys grow. It's really scary to watch. Okay, so here's my pea trellis. It's kind of hard to see. I've just got 3 2x2s They used to be fencing or whatever. So they have the screws here and at the bottom, and so I've just kind of wrapped it around. I've got these little guys trying to train up the fencing, and I really need to get fencing up for these guys, but I need to get some more sticks. I ordered a trellis system from Johnny's in the spring, but the directions say that you need to keep it really tight. Otherwise, the birds will land on it and then their feet get twisted in it. So I can't be sure that I can keep it that tight. Decided that the deer fencing was a better choice because the birds just land on it and that's not been a problem. I'm rehydrating a couple of trays of soil blocks for the next succession of salanova lettuce. They are nice and moist now. Soil blocks seeded with the 4th succession of salanova lettuce. Hopefully these guys turn out better than the last batch.